Shalom and welcome back. Right now we're going to be learning something real special. It's going to be tricks to finding roots in a verb. Okay, this is one of the hardest things when it comes to Hebrew, is finding the root, especially in a verb. Verbs are very difficult at times to find roots, and so we're going to use these different tricks to find how to find the roots. So before we do this, we got to go back and do some memory lane stuff. Okay, this is what we do. What are the weak root letters that are used in verbs? Okay, so we have the end, the middle, and the front. So what are the front ones? Well, we got the main ones are yud, nun, and hey. Okay, so yud. I'm gonna move these lines here for a second, just so you don't have to worry about the lines. I put the lines there just to show you the fact that that's the front. But they're yud, nun, and hey. Now, the one thing you have to really understand for the most part is really you're looking for yud and nun, not hey often. Hey really has to do with halach. It's really kind of like one verb form that you'd be looking for. And lamed also is another special one, and that one's going to be for the verb lakach. Okay? But literally we're looking for yud and nun. Hey and lamed, these we're going to put like special. Alright? And these are special ones, okay? So here, the next one, we have the middle one. The middle one is basically Vav and Yud, but we're going to give you the ways they look in the middle. It's either the U looking, or the O looking, or the Yud, okay? And then lastly, the Hey endings, okay? So, how can we find a root, okay? Well, we got to remember that when we're looking for a root, that the main thing that you struggle with is going to be when you see the Vav conversive. Remember, the Vav conversive is when we take the Vav and we put it in front of it like a future verb, okay? And the Vav conversive is the only form that really ratifies the change of how a lot of verbs look, and they're kind of difficult to identify. And so what we're going to do here is give you some tricks, okay? So how can you tell if the signs of the root is missing in the front, okay? So here's one of the tricks. Number one, if we look under the first pronoun, alright, which is the pronoun that is connected to our verb, alright, I should have said the pronoun, so the first one, don't correct me, I know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so when we're looking at, for example, the pronoun that's attached to the verb, if we look under the thing and we find that the verb's pronoun has a tzareh, this is an indication that it's very possible that here we're going to be looking for a root letter that's missing in the front. Okay? And so in this case, if I was to look for the verb, I'd be looking with the two roots, lamed and chaf sofit. I'd be looking for these two root letters and then saying, okay, what's missing in the front? Is it going to be a yud, a nun, or could it be my special hey? Alright? And that's what we're going to be looking for. Now, lamed, like I said, it's only really one root that's going to have this issue, and that's lakach. Okay? Once you know that, you kind of batch that one out, and you don't even need lamed anymore. Okay? So the next trick we're going to look for is in the root, okay, after the first, well, I do say first, and this does make some manifestation of some importance here, because we do have verbs that have the pronoun at the let's say this way, the pronoun at the end and the pronoun at the beginning. These are future verbs, and those are when the plurals are being used. And so when we look at this, here I have an issue where here is my pronoun indicator, and here also is my pronoun indicator. So that means what's in between? It's my root. Okay. Well, obviously, we're not looking for a two-letter root, we're looking for a three-letter root, okay? So, if we're looking for a three-letter root, then what's my indicator to show me where it's at, where it's missing? If you see that dot is in the first root letter, the first only root letter you have available, that dot indicates that I have a missing letter in the front. And so that means it could either be a yud, a nun, and, maybe a hey, but normally it's going to be yud or nun, okay? And this is my special one. This is what I was talking about, why the lamed is missing, is, for example, this is vayikach. It's the word lakach, okay? And what's the indicator? You see the dot? It's right after the pronoun. So here's my Vav conversive, my pronoun, and bam, there's my first root letter. My first root letter has a dot in it, and that indicates that my root letter is missing. And this is the root letter, the lamed. The lamed is the special missing one here. Now, why did I say sometimes with regard to the tzarei noun? And that's because I'm going to show you an indication. This we're going to go woo, bam, down to here. So here we have the verb vayivech, okay, vayivech. And what is vayivech? Vayivech means and he wept, all right? Well, if you notice here, there's a dot right here. You see this kaf safit and the dot? Not these two here, this one right here. This is an indicator that my root is missing at the end. And look at here, wow, you see? Here is my pronoun, it had the tzarei, and here the pronoun is the tzarei. So you might even say, oh, I thought you told me that tzarei was how I look for it. Sometimes, okay? But however, because of this dot here in the chaf sofit, this indicates that my root is missing at the end, and this is where we go to hey. So I'm going to skip from the middle and go to the ending, and then we'll go back to the middle, okay? So since the root missing at the end, or other than, is going to be this. If I have, after my vav conversive, my pronoun has a patach. That patach, which is not going to be a kamatz or a tzarei, the patach. If I see a patach after the vav conversive underneath my pronoun, I know, bam, my missing root letter is right here. And that only one could be hey. That's right, it's a hey verb. So that completes the hey endings. Now we're going to go to here. Signs the root is missing at the middle. So how do I know if it's missing at the middle? I have two indicators, alright? One of them is the fact that here we go, we have the vav conversive. Alright, remember this is mainly your vav conversives where your big problems are going to be when you're going, wait a second, where happened this letter? What happened to that letter? Alright? So the vav conversive and the pronoun. The pronoun's here, it's the second, it's always after the vav conversive. And here we have a kamatz. So the kamatz, this tells me I'm looking for the u, the o, or the yud. Okay? So if I have a kamatz underneath my pronoun, I definitely know I'm looking for an u, o, or yud that's going to go right here in between these two puppies. Alright? So bet and aleph is literally the first and the last of the root, and this kamatz indicates that my root needs either an u, an o, or a yud. Okay? Now, remember I said to you that the tzarei, this sometimes indicates. Alright, well this is not always, okay? So sometimes tzarei can indicate the fact that the missing root is in the middle, okay? And so this is why when we're going through it, we just have to think about the fact that if I have only two root letters, a beautiful trick to go through this, just remember this, you only have a very small amount of roots you have to look for. But if I have two root letters, what should I do? This is in a case where these tricks don't work. What do? How do I go about it? Okay? You have a very simple thing. You either put these middle roots inside here and you find out that this word is exactly works. It does exactly, it makes sense, it's making logical sense to use that word and it fits through the whole passage and context. Or you put a hey ending here, and by which, like I said, the hey ending here, okay, remember, we're not talking about the vowels here, we're looking at here, the hey ending here. So I got two root letters, so it could possibly definitely be the hey ending is missing, okay? Or I have the choice between yud and nun. Remember, hey and lamed, they're very special, we're not going to see them very often, matter of fact, very, very rarely. Small, okay? So then I basically have 6 possibilities. 6! That's not a lot of words you have to look up, so, okay? So how would you do it? So I'll give you an example of this. We're going to erase all this information we've already done here. And I'll give you a beautiful example of this to show you what I'll be doing, alright? Because we're trying to ask the question of what is the root, okay? So, let's say, for example, we find a word, and I'm going to give you one, I'm going to pull it out of here. And give a good example. Okay. Let's look at it like this. Let's pretend I'm looking at a thing with no vowels for a second here, okay? I know that this is the vowel conversive. I know that this is the pronoun. So what I have left is pay and lamed. What do I do? Okay? And let's say, for example, I know how it's vowelized, okay? Vayiful, alright? Let's say it's vayiful, alright? Actually vayiful, alright? I know it's vowelized. Let's say I'm not even thinking, I'm not even looking at the vowels, my brain's not even thinking. So what do? Okay? I take first my root, pay, lamed, and I start going through the order of possibilities, okay? So I go here and I say pay, lamed, yud. Pay, lamed, nun. That took care of my possibilities of the two roots that are in the front. Right? So here we have my possibilities of the two roots in the front. Then I go to the middle. Pei, vav, lamed. Pei, vav, lamed. Pei, yud, lamed. Alright? And this takes over the possibilities of the root in the middle. Okay? And then of course I have my last one. Pei, lamed, hey. And that now completes my last one. So if I only have two root letters, I can definitely identify. Okay? Just use the order of operation. Just say, is it the yud, the nun, the vav in the middle, both the o and the u, or is it the yud, or is it the hey? And by then, poof, you'll find your verb. You'll find exactly the root, because it's going to make sense. The whole context is going to make sense. This is, it's just like English. When you have a word and you don't understand, you go through all the definitions in the dictionary to figure out what definition makes sense for the word to make sense in the sentence. Of course, it's not a root word, because in English we don't use root words, we just use words, okay? But if you looked at the definition and he said, that's against the law, and then you read law and you say the law is, and you read one definition, and it's talking about a court system, a judicial edict. You're like, oh, that makes sense, a judicial edict. Okay, it's against the judicial edict. That makes sense, okay? That's what you have to do, okay? And it's an easy way of doing this, and it solves a lot of the heartache and headache and stuff of trying to go through and, what's this, what's that? Just take a piece of paper, keep it beside you, and go through the different possibilities, and when you find the right one, you've got your answer. Alright? So I hope this really helps you. I know it helped me, because I do it all the time when I'm looking and forgetting things at times, because Hebrew is just something you gotta keep in your head all the time. Alright? I'll talk to you later, and you enjoy more. Alright? We'll see you.